Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. It's Q&A Tuesday. Well, technically it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday, but I'm still making up for yesterday. I've just had a lot of stuff going on personally. I just didn't have time to film yesterday, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and dive into the questions right now, so never fear, I'm still here. All right, so question number 1. Somebody wrote in asking for advice for working with partners. Okay. So clearly, we all know I have experience with working with a partner. So I will say this first and foremost. When you work with a partner, it is like a marriage, okay? And you're going to be working together, and there's going to be times that you disagree. The most important thing is to agree to disagree. Okay? That is the first thing, first and foremost, you got to get established between you and your partner. Agree to disagree, okay? Because all of your disagreements have to stay behind closed doors. You never, ever, ever, ever call out your partner in front of your providers. I have had an instance with my partner, and we were together for many years. And so it all started when I got put with my supervisor. And she was new to the facility, and I was new to her. And because I had just gotten moved onto her team. And she was looking for a place to put me. And so she was having a hard time because a lot of people did not want to work orthopedics. And that was one of the things she asked me. She's like, hey, Blue, can I put you in orthopedics? Are you okay with that? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I don't fear anything, especially when it comes to medical coding. I don't fear anything. And so I told her, I said, yeah, sure. I'll take orthopedics. I don't care. So I was taking the place of a lady that she was moving on to another job, and so I got put with my partner. And of course, my partner, she has like 30 years of experience. So I was like, okay, cool. She must know what she's doing. So we were housed away from our providers at the time because we were in the room with the bullpens. And so she knew them personally. She had worked with them for many years, and she knew them. I did not know them. I couldn't even tell you at the time what they looked like because I hadn't been there. And they rarely would come out to our office. So it was just a matter of, okay, she knows them, they know her, whatever. And so we were doing a class one day, and she happened to say something, and it was wrong, okay? But I was like, ooh, that was wrong. But I didn't say anything. I made no movement. I just stood there stoically and did not say anything. I literally didn't say anything. I was just like, okay, I'm going to wait till we get back. So as soon as we got back to the office, I was like, hey, and I showed her where it was in the book. And she's like, oh, she goes, uh-oh. She goes, I said that wrong, didn't I? I said, yeah, you did. And then she goes, well, thanks for not busting me out. And I'm like, oh, of course. We have to show a united front. I said, doesn't matter how wrong the other one is. You do not squabble. You don't air your dirty laundry in front of your providers. And so she said, well, okay, cool. So we just put out the guidance, the official guidance later on by email, and we cited the source and everything. So that way, we didn't bring it up. We didn't make it a big deal. It was just something that just happened. And, we were just saying, okay, well, this is the official guidance and everybody can follow this. So it worked out, but then when it was my turn and I misspoke and we were in front of them, she just leapt on and she was just like, no, that's wrong. And she just completely called me out in front of the providers. And so I'm just sitting there like, I have to smile and nod. And it's not that I have a problem with admitting that I was wrong. Of course, I don't have a problem admitting that I'm wrong. What I have a problem with is we need to show a united front because we can't have them seeing us disagree, okay? So we get back to the office, and I told her, I was like, you can't do that again. And she's like, well, you were wrong. And I said, of course, I know I was wrong. But the thing is, we can't sit there and disagree in front of the providers. We have to show that we're one voice. Does not matter. We can always correct a mistake later on, but we cannot sit there and be squabbling with each other and have them seeing us like this. And so, she just sort of blew me off. She didn't really think about it, and she was just like, okay, whatever, and it was a sort of the start of a more decline between us. And we tried to work things out professionally, of course, and we still showed that united front even after that, because our supervisor had gotten involved, and we were talking with her about it, and I was telling her the importance of building that trust with our providers. And you have to start building trust with your providers the second you can, okay? And it doesn't matter that that you think this other person's wrong or this person's wrong. You've got to show that you support each other and that you have each other's back, because the second providers get that vibe of, oh, they're disagreeing, and oh, there's this, and oh, there's that tension, they're not going to want to listen to you, because they're going to think they don't know what they're doing. They can't even get on the same page, okay? So this is why it's important to make sure that when you are with your partner, that you agree to disagree. Okay, you always try to get on the same page, of course, always with the coding, but if you can't, you know what I mean, don't show it in front of your providers. Okay, that is my biggest bit of advice, because that relationship that you build with those providers is either going to be successful or not. You know what I mean? Either they're going to want to listen to you, or they're just not going to listen to you. So it's just very important to always have that that camaraderie of, we've got each other's back, no matter what. Okay, so that's my advice on that. What schools are good for medical coding? So both associations that are nationally recognized, medical coding associations, the American Health Information Management Association, which is the association that I belong to, and the American Academy of Professional Coders, both have their own self-paced programs, and I will be leaving both of their addresses down in the description box below. So this way, you guys can check it out if you're interested. As far as like the other schools go, the other online schools or like trade schools, I don't know, because I haven't been there, so I don't really know what they offer or anything. So as I've said, be sure to vet the schools, go through the Better Business Bureau, see if there's any complaints about them, see if they help with job placement assistance and that kind of thing. So I mean, if you're not going to go through one of the association schools, just do that. Just vet the school and make sure, because you're obviously going to be investing time and money into this place. Get the most out of them that you can. Okay, so that's my bit of advice on that one. Tips for test takers. Lots of people are going to go take their test pretty soon, so that's exciting. That's wonderful. Congratulations. But here's the thing. I get this, and this is very common, very common thing of, well, what if I fail? Okay, don't have that to be the first thing in your mind. Obviously you've gone through the program, or you've prepared yourself enough that you're ready to take the exam. You've passed the test, the pre-test, and all this other stuff. So just go in there confident that you are ready to take the exam, and have fun with it. And you say, Blue, how can I have fun with this? A test. Relax. That test is designed to test your knowledge of what you've learned. You've already covered all of that stuff. If you've put in the time, if you've made sure that you've studied and you're relaxed and you've rested and everything, you should be good to go. Okay. And if all else fails and you do fail, just take it again. There's no law that says you can take your test only one time ever in your life, okay? You may have to pay for it again, but that's okay. Just think of it as a investment in your future, okay? Just look at it like that. And if you know that you tried hard, don't beat yourself up if something happens, okay? But don't let that be the first thing that's put in your mind is, what if I fail, okay? So I'm going to tell you guys the advice that my mom gave me, because she never let me get like that. She never let me get where, oh, what if I fail? She never let me say that, because she says, you're smart, you know what you're doing, you've studied, you've worked hard, you're ready, okay? You can do this. And that was the one thing that she always told me, you can do this. And people say, well, what if? No. Yes, you can. Because there are people that have taken this test and, they have struggled hard, okay? to just even pass the test. So if they can do it, you can do it, okay? You can literally do anything you set your mind to, okay, without sounding too cliche, okay? You can do it, okay? Just remember that. Relax, okay? Above and beyond all else, okay? Nobody's gonna slap your hand if you got the answer wrong, okay? So just relax. Make sure that you rest before you take your test, okay? That's another thing, because people's like, oh, I didn't rest, or, I crammed. Do not cram. That's another thing too. Do not cram. Give yourself a break, okay? Don't study the night before you go to take your test, because anything that you've already learned is going to be in your head, and it's going to be there. You're not going to learn anything overnight, okay? You've had all of that time to study, and it is go time, okay? So just relax. Go in there confident in knowing that you are going to try your best, and you're going to work hard. You're going to get your credential, and you're going to go out there and you're going to rock it. So that's my advice on that one. Okay? So next question is, do coders have a certain accuracy rate that they have to attain? If so, what will happen if the coder goes below that rate? A good auditor, and it goes back to a good auditor, if when they pull your records for audit, and they say, okay, well, you got this percentage correct on your evaluation and management codes, this percentage correct on your procedure codes, and this percentage correct on your diagnosis codes. If you see that there's something lacking, because every facility has a different level of accuracy, okay? Some is 95%, some is 97%, some 94, some 90%, you know what I mean? So that's just overall accuracy. So what they do is they do the math, and they add up all the numbers, and then they divide and do all this stuff. So that's how they find out their accuracy rate for the coder. I've never known a facility that says if you don't meet the accuracy for that month, then you're fired. I've never known that. Obviously you will know, every facility is different, so you can ask them, what is your policy about accuracy, and if a coder is not hitting it. But don't let that be the first thing in your mind, okay? You need to go in there with some level of confidence, okay? If you've passed your exam, if you've studied, if you've done all the things that you can do, you are ready to go out there and code once you have your credential and everything. Don't get hung up on, I can't do it. Yes, you can, okay? And if your accuracy dips low, let's just say, for example, the accuracy for your facility is 95%, okay? And your overall accuracy for the month is 92%, okay? Well, then you go into the next month, and it's 96%. So if you take that 92 and that 96, you start going up, okay? So a lot of times it goes by averages, okay? It goes by average of, what, like rolling 6 months or rolling 12 months. What was your accuracy for each month? And then, if you're good to go. If not, most times they will work with you. They'll try to get you, put on a program maybe to improve if you're dipping below. If you're showing signs of trying, if you're showing signs of improvement, you have that as hey, I'm trying, because it happens to the best of us. Sometimes we just don't, it won't click for us. Sometimes we just have a rough month, with providers, and they just don't want to get on board. There's a myriad of reasons why sometimes a coder will dip below. I've dipped below when I was going with my asthma, and I was going through a really rough time with my asthma. It was making me very jittery, and it was hard for me to concentrate because I had to take the inhaler, and the inhaler is just like, oh my gosh. And you just shake. I could not focus on anything, and my heart rate would go up, and I just literally could not focus. And I knew that it affected my audits, because even my boss was like, what is going on with you? And I was like, I'm literally just diagnosed with asthma. I'm trying to get myself together. And so she cut me a break. I mean, she knew, you know. And obviously the next month, my numbers went and rebounded, and they went back up to normal. And she was just like, okay, this is what I'm used to. This is the Bleu that I know. And I was like, yes, because this is just something that happens, you know. So those things are going to happen from time to time, you know. It's when if you start making it a habit and you're not trying and you just are progressively getting worse, then yes, you're gonna have a problem then. Okay, and you know, they can let you go for consistently being bad. I mean, as far as like your audits go. But if you have a lead or a data quality person that's working with you, and they're trying to help you, work with them. Okay, especially if they're trying to help you, because you know, nobody wants to fire anybody because they can't get their accuracy right. You know, if there's something going on or the coder doesn't understand, there's ways to improve, but you have to, you know, be along in that process as well. You can't just be lackadaisical about it and be like, oh, I don't like those, I don't like coding that, so I'm not doing it, and have a bad attitude about it. You can't do that. Okay, it is a give and a take, okay? Because coders get paid very well. And again, don't ask me how much people make, because like I said, it varies from place to place, but overall coders get paid very well to do what we do, okay? So that for that reason, they expect you to know more. You have to try. You have to work hard to learn things as well. You know, obviously I know more now, being 10 plus years in, than when I first started. But I knew that coming into this field, you know, you're working with some of the most freaking intelligent people you will ever meet in your life. Whether you're working with doctors or surgeons, you know what I mean, or PAs, you know, or nurse practitioners, you are working with intelligent people, okay? And each require, you know, they need to see you putting in the effort, okay? Because think about this, you know, they went to medical school and they've done all this education, and here a coder is, you know, you're telling me, you know what I mean? Because I've had that before, you know, you're telling me, you know, yes, I am telling you. This is why I make it a point of knowing as much as I can before I go to the provider and I ask them or talk to them or whatever. Or I try to tell them, hey, this is the reason that we need like measurements, or this is the reason that we need laterality, you know what I mean? Because of this, this, and this, you know. These are the rules. I don't make the rules. I follow them, you know, and, you know, like I said, you have to be prepared. So just prepare yourself as much as you can, you know. Don't get hung up on the audits, though. If you have a bad month with audits, it's okay. Let it go, okay? Just move on. Just focus on what they're telling you that you missed, so that way you can be more aware of it the next time. And you can be like, okay, well, I know if I missed that one, I won't make that mistake again, okay? And that's one of the things my supervisor, she told me too. She's like, you know what I like about you? She's like, if I catch you on something, she's like, I never see you make the same mistake again. And I was like, well, I don't like to be told that I'm wrong, you know what I mean? And I don't like to make stupid mistakes, you know? And it's like, ugh. But it happens. So it's just like, whatever, you know? But you have to forgive yourself. That's another thing too. If you make a mistake, you got to forgive yourself, and you got to keep moving forward. You know, it's whatever you do, just keep moving forward. So, and so the next question is activity codes on Sequela. No, you are never going to put activity codes, those Y codes, on Sequela. Because here's the thing with Sequela, and I love Sequela. I could talk about Sequela all day long. You're going to have your manifestation of like your injury, right? So let's say, for example, you have a scar, and that scar hurts and it's painful. So you have your scar code, and then you have, you know, whatever injury you had. Maybe you had a laceration in it. There's now a painful scar. So painful, the scar, you know, and then the laceration with Sequela, and then and then how it happened, like whether you got into a knife fight or you cut yourself on glass or something, and that's it. So it's a minimum of 3 codes, which is the manifestation, the injury, and how it happened. You're never going to use the activity code. It's tempting, yes, but no. The only time you're going to use activity codes is on the initial visits for the injuries, or on the overuse. Like we've had some before, like the shoulder tendonitis, I think. You would use because in that particular section in those codes, it's asking for a activity code. So if there is an activity listed, then yes, you are going to use that Y code. But if the activity is not listed, do not put unspecified. I think there's an unspecified activity code. Do not use that code. Okay? If it's not specified, do not list it. Okay? So that is another point that you can make if you're talking to your providers. If this is an overuse injury code or muscle overuse code, how did they overuse it? Were they typing, or, are they playing a game? Are they a baseball player, basketball player, or whatever? Then you can say, hey, what is the activity associated with this particular overuse? Okay? So, yes, and that's it. Yeah, that's it for today's Q&A Tuesday. Shot on Wednesday, sorry. But yes, and I will be back for another episode. But yes, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. I will be putting my email address down in the description box below. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to submit them there, and we will just be discussing them on next week's Q&A Tuesday. Also, that will be shot on Tuesday. Or you can comment below in the comment section and let me know what your questions are. All right? Well, if you are a medical coder, a medical coding student, somebody curious about the fascinating world of medical coding, a provider or a nurse, I invite you to like and subscribe and follow me on my journey in medical coding. All right? Well, I will see y'all on the next video. Bye!